Morning. Hey y'all. How y'all doing today? Happy hump day, guys. You're welcome in. Lighting on. Let's put on the full armor, shall we? I love you, Lord. Let's go. I'm at Ephesians 6 and 13, guys. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. I take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Amen. Oh, hey, y'all. What's up, guys? Happy hump day to you. And I'm hoping that you all slept, had a good night's rest. Today, I am going to be talking about something that the Lord really values highly, and that is faith. Faith. I'm sure we all know the meaning, but I'm going to say it for the sake of the lesson. Faith is a firm belief and complete trust in someone, something, or a set of ideas, more notably defined in the Bible as confidence in things hoped for and assurance about things not seen. And I'm going to start off by telling you guys about the kind of faith that I had to grow in the Lord. And it took a long time for me to grow the type of faith that I needed by the time I needed it so bad. So when I moved here to Georgia, how some people be like, you so green, she's so green, or he's so green. And usually they be talking about it backwards for me, because I was so green in the, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about the screen as much as my face, because y'all gotta see me really. Um, I was more green in the way of um, the backwards way. Instead of being green where the streets was involved, I was green where the the church was involved, where my faith was involved. where God was involved. And not only was I at the beginning of starting my faith journey, but I was also at the beginning of my Christianity journey again. And I was very broken. I was in my beginning stages of recovery from uh, powder, abusing powder, and abusing tequila. That was my drink of choice. Um, so much so that I would keep a bottle in my purse. So if wherever I went didn't have it, then I would have it. I would go in the bathroom and just take a shot. I would have it myself. I wouldn't worry about them having it there. And namely, I wanted to change. I really wanted to make a change in my life. I was so broken that I really didn't know exactly what I wanted. All I knew is that I wanted something different. And I really just didn't care what that meant. But I knew that I had to get away from everything I knew, because everything I knew was centered around what I enjoyed doing, which was having connections to in order to get what I wanted, and being around the people who enjoyed doing what I did, because it was a drag being around people who um, was all uptight, like, "No, I don't do that," or "Oh, you do that," or whatever. So I made that my circle. And so I left my people, places, and things, and people, places. And when I got here, all of my family, my older family, is in church. And everybody went to my aunt's church. All the family went to that church. And so quite naturally, that's the first thing. I was staying with my mother. That's the first thing she wanted me to do outside of, mother-daughter time, going to get our nails done or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And it felt really odd that she had to take care of me as far as giving me even $1 to put in the plate. And she was the type who was like, all right, hurry up and get something going. Because I asked her $5 one day. She was like, you need to hurry up and get some money. Start getting something going for yourself, because I'm not going to be able. I already knew that. So I was still in recovery, but I was also trying to keep myself busy while looking for something. And I'm like, Lord, please give me something to do so I can be making money, keeping my time filled. And so my cousin had introduced me to my son's godfather. And I was able to start working. And every step of the way, I could see how everything played a big major part. Welcome in. How you doing today? I'd like to thank you guys who have subscribe to my channel. I'd like to thank you guys who have been coming in. I'd like to thank you guys who have been watching the videos, hyping the videos, and definitely the comments and the hypes, which really help this channel a whole lot. So before I get really into my message, I really wanted to say that. So everything along the way now, I could see even where I asked for things and God wouldn't grant them then. He didn't say no, but he didn't say yeah. And I wasn't used to hearing his voice. So I was really just lost. But everything played into even now, even how I left everything I knew, having faith that things would turn out right. My oldest son was coming here to stay with my mom, which was the major reason why I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead there while my other children's father get them. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do some bonding with him. We go cut the grass together. You know, they teenagers ain't into that, but that's what I was hoping. um, but everything along the way had played into now. Now, getting further along, I told you guys where I got up and I couldn't walk, 2019. And I was like, Lord, this, please, this can't be me, because I was really into skating. I was into wearing high heels. I was a very active person. I enjoyed exercising. And even my spiritual leader was saying, like, guys like women that, that they could take care of. And I'm thinking to myself, Lord, please, Lord, please. And he said, I will walk again. I will walk and I will run. And I'm like, okay. So that was a definite. I knew that was him. And so I did not accept it. I did not accept what was said to me. And I never got in the wheelchair. And though I have pain and though I have numbness, I can walk. The Lord said to me this morning that a lot of people's faith are being challenged at this time in life. And that's, yeah, that's very understandable. But it's like a conundrum, because it's exactly what you need in order to make him, to please him, to move him. And then it's it seems like the hardest thing to do when you're at your very lowest point. But the biggest thing I think that I not I think the biggest thing that I did was think about all the stuff he had already done for me. All the stuff that, just like when we have a baby, we don't remember that pain that we went through. But it was like the worst pain in the world. And that's how it is when we come into starting trying to remember the things that the Lord had brought us through. Remembering the things that the Lord had brought us through. And that's why it's so important to journal. And it's so important to write down how you're feeling. And so important to put it on paper, the things that he had brought you through. And it's something about when you read something, you can imagine it better in your head. You can put the feelings better together in your head when you read them. And you can feel the feelings more when you write them. And that's what brings it into coming into play in the future, but also that's also what builds your faith even more in the now. I don't know if you remember, but there's been at least one situation where you had prayed that a bill had gotten paid, or that you had paid, you could move into your new place. And maybe it turned out to not only be your a nice new place, but also better than you could imagine. And we're going through so much in the world today. It's so many things that's unexpected that has come up. But for everything that has come up, there is a resolution for it. When we first came into a lot of this here stuff, um, Walmart was talking about how they didn't know how they was gonna pull through. Different stores was talking about shutting down and taking their location somewhere else and different things. But as time has pressed on, they was able to find a way to not welcome guys to find a way to not only keep going but keep sales going, keep memberships going where the sales would be extra. And that's how in our lives, you know, of course the stores aren't praying themselves, but we pray that we can keep our local um valued stores, and we pray that we can keep our valued sales and things that's been available to us where we can have stuff delivered. And that has been a very big saving grace for us. And if you look at the different things other countries have been going through, and you look at the things that aren't available, then though things are more expensive, and though you have to find another way, at least you know that there are other ways available for you to try to alternate. At least you have a vehicle where you can stay in order to park somewhere. It might not be everywhere you was before could park before, but at least you still can. And at least you have somewhere to go until you can find a different place. Sometimes we are pushed into situations because otherwise we wouldn't move. I really believe when I had came here that I was so pushed. That was the only way it had to be a definite push. And I believe that push saved my life. And I believe that even in my health taking a turn, I believe that saved my life because I was taking major risks. I was walking on the um, bridges, and I was walking near the airport, and I'd be walking so early in the morning that when the street cleared, it'd be real clear. And then, that came where people had started following me just in order to stop me at the gas station and say something to me. Or, like, there was a wreck one time when I was coming, like, right where I was about to get ready to cross. It was like somebody about to get ready to go. And it was like somebody had to stop cold, and they had a wreck right there where I could have been walking right in that space. But so I believe that even me having to slow down in that time may have saved me. We never know why we come to different trials in our lives, but it's always at those points that we have to dig deeper to into our humility, into our faith, into our resources, into even sometimes coming closer to people that we would not have even um, probably came in contact with uh, because that time was needed. I'm at Mark 10:52. And Jesus said unto him, Go thy way, thy faith has made thee whole. And immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus in the way. Sometimes when we go through different things, and we really have to reach deep and we have to pray and we have to really see clearly that in our own power we cannot do it. It have to be shown to us so crystal clear, have to be shown to others so crystal clear that when Jesus does it, when God comes through, when I say that, I mean, the three are one, so Father, Son, Holy Spirit. But when the Most High come through for us, it not only blesses our lives, but it blesses those lives that we're watching. Because a lot of times it's the saving grace. It's nothing that we did outside of believing. Because he said, faith the size of a mustard seed. And a mustard seed is like just teeny, you see where right there, teeny inside of the nails right there. Teeny, teeny, weeny. The size of a mustard seed. And I always say, I love how it says that because for even someone who's just coming to the Lord, coming to find their resting place in prayer, even they can believe that much. And then when the blind man got his sight, he immediately followed Jesus. And when we see something can't be done in our own power, that we don't have no power, when it really comes down to it, when we see that our money cannot buy whatever it is, we have all this money in order to get something done, but it's not available to us. Or we have all this money to get something done, and people don't think that we're a good fit. The landlord don't think we're a good fit, or it's not uh, in our in the area that we can be in. And it's like money cannot buy everything. Like, you mean to tell me I just not got my check and I got all this money and I can't even find me a place to stay? I can't even find me a used car. I don't want no new car. I want a used car. I don't want no car though that I like, that would fit my needs. Because everything is not about what you have. A lot of times it's about the blessing that's on top of what you have. Can't tell you guys how many times, because I started off paying a certain amount of rent, and over the years it's gotten up, and so I live on one check a month, and I can't tell you how many times I have said, okay, well, I have to make it through this month. I have to buy enough groceries. I have to make sure that my son, because he was growing out of his clothes so fast, and for school, he really needed. I have to make sure his school needs are met. I have to make sure that my needs are met. At least let me do my hair, do something to my hair, and pay all my other bills. And the resources that I began with when I first started here, I was on housing. I was on food stamps. I was able to get WIC. I was on different programs, and that was a good start for me, and it was a good stepping stone for me. And I was very when I first got my first place and got off housing, welcome in. I was very like, I don't know if I can meet this rent every month, because I was going a big jump from, of about $600 of a jump. And I was off of housing, so a lot of stuff wasn't available to me no more. And but I'm still on food stamps at that time. Then they said I couldn't qualify for food stamps. I'm like, oh. Then my medical now, I have to pay copay. And I can't tell you, every month last year, every single month without fail, I was asking my mother or my uncle, could I borrow some money from them? My uncle had got so tired of lending me money, he would like not answer, and then he would just go ahead and send it. I would send this long message like, I'm so sorry to have to ask again. I mean, I'll pay him back and I'll try to give extra, but it's just like by the time the end of the month come, I'd be needing help again. And I didn't want to go to my mom every month, so I would go to him, then I would go to her, him, her. This year, it's the first year God told me um, that, that I had to cut ties. And this was the first year that I actually trusted him. This is me going from every month of needing help with more resources, not having to pay no copay, not having to pay for no Uber, not having to fill my completely fill my pantry and stuff on my own, because my insurance was helping me get food. But now I only have one check, don't have no food stamps, paying the copay, having to pay for Ubers, and more than I expected. Filling my freezer, my pantry, my regular freezer, and my refrigerator. I have not borrowed any money this month. I mean, this year. Nothing. I'm like, Lord, how am I gonna? I don't drive. I'm like, Lord, how am I gonna get the stuff I need? How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do that, Lord? If I cut ties, and He's like, have faith. Do you trust me? Yes, Lord, I trust you. I'm like, but I take four different medicines. I have to go to the doctor, which is out far out. Then I have to go back and forth to the pharmacy four different times. And my Uber start messing up on me, so I have to pay and the copay, and I had owed money to them before I could see the doctor again. I'm like, but how am I going? He's like, you're not going to do it. I'm going to do it. Do you trust me? Yes, Lord, I do trust you. Okay. So I cut ties. I cut ties with everyone because I had to. And since I cut ties, it's like my dollars stretch. So far, I'd be like, Lord, now they charging more for the Dasani water that I like. They charging all this money for this kind of water, and I like that kind of water. And then he showed me, which I'm not telling. Now I'm not saying it. Then he showed me where they have sale that they can deliver. Then he showed me the best deals to get. Then he tell me how to hold a certain amount back. And then it always be what I need before the end of the month. I wouldn't know why I'm holding that certain amount of money back. But it turned out that I need to pay for my Uber instead of my insurance paying for it because my insurance would stand me up. Be like, well, they canceled your ride. Be like, I've been standing out here waiting. My doctor's appointments today. I waited a whole month to get this appointment. I would have to wait, and they have to do blood work and stuff every couple of months for me to get my medication because I must. I was an addict. I am an addict in recovery, and in August 23rd, it'll be 19 years for my power use. So I had a lot of obstacles I was looking at. I was looking in the face of the obstacles and looking at different things starting to go very awry. It looked like the different agencies actually was working against me together. That's what it looked like to me. But in everything, even when it wasn't safe for me to take an Uber ride, even when they came here at 12 o'clock in the morning one night, that same day that they didn't give me their information for the Uber ride, where I would have at any other time felt unsafe about that. But being very comfortable in knowing that I'm very safe, I'm more beyond safe. And when the storm came here, all of my neighbors upstairs, next door to me, in the same building, all of their floors was flooded. I didn't have nobody to help me to move the stuff out of my apartment in order for them to pick up the carpet and relay carpet and everything. Mine didn't, not a drop of water. And they had the lights out over here for a couple of days over here, not long ago. And I had everything that I needed from getting prepared from when that storm had hit. Like having extra ice packs, having extra Duracell batteries, the lantern, the fans that operate by batteries. Even though we have cable and my son have a TV with cable on it, we also have a portable TV that takes batteries and that also uh, plugs into his our power packs. So even when the lights was off here a couple days, we was very well fine. My stuff in the freezer did not go bad because I had the ice packs in the freezer. And he tells me when to prepare for stuff before the phones uh had went up. I had told my mother, I'm like, I'm gonna need to get me the latest the latest iPhone, and it was almost time for an upgrade or a time for an upgrade, and it was right before the they had went up tremendously for the iPhone 16. They went up tremendously when it came up, and the Lord was telling me then I need to hurry up and get my phone upgraded, and He'll lead you in the direction of the things that you need to do in order to do what you need to do. It took me a long time to really distinguish his voice because I had so much I had so much of other people's words, logic in my head. And I had to get to a still and quiet place inside of myself where I trusted myself again. I trusted my discernment again, where I didn't feel silly or too sensitive when I had an opinion about something. I didn't feel like I had to second guess myself or ask somebody's opinion. Because even at my age, I had got around so many people that believed the same thing that I felt my beliefs were not right. So it took me having to separate myself in order to learn and develop a relationship with God, just me and Him. And me journaling and meditating and getting a stillness in my home, in my thoughts, in my life, and so that I can discern His voice from the enemy's voice, from my own voice, and even from people, outside people voices, because like I said, I believe that there was a lot of witchcraft that was um, playing a big part in my life, my mental fog and different stuff like that. I don't believe that it was just regular old speaking spells. As far as when you speak and you speak negative about someone and someone in disagreement with them, then that could be a spell speaking over someone's life. Well, I think it went further than that. I believe that uh, things were set out. Um, Gifts was given to me with the attachment of different things and stuff like that. So, not I believe I know. And so I had to clear all that out of my space. And I really had to start to trust my intuition, trust my own self first, so that then I could trust what I was hearing from the Lord and move accordingly. And a lot of times it would have to be right there on the spot, stop on a dime. Sometimes it would be to be not seen or heard for a couple of days, heard from on social media, to take a social media fast for a couple of days. Or sometimes it would be to actually fast. Um, but in these days and times, without me being, I'm not an extremist. Um, Especially not now. I'm not an extremist. That's not my personality. I'm a very settled minded person, and but in being that, I've had to accept different things that's come to challenge my life. I've had to have a radical acceptance of different things that has come to challenge my life. Otherwise, then I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in now. And I have some great things that's come up that I'm not going to reveal anymore. But I'm in a very good position now. And I'm just so grateful that the Lord has seen me through to now. From so many people not wanting well for me, having faith is sometimes coming against everything you know and trusting God when you feel it in your gut and you think to yourself, but that would mean I would have to do this and do that. And then you get scared for a minute, like, wait, is this God? And you know it's God, but you just feel like, oh my God, it's time for me to really do all this. Where there was a time that you just only had a hard time just meditating. You're like, all right, you need to start praying and meditating. You're like, okay. Then you pray, but you wouldn't meditate. Well, I wouldn't meditate. You're like, I gotta do all that stuff. But it's like the further you get, the more you get, the more that's expected of you. And the less you speak about it, the things that you get, you learn better by the time you start getting them. Be like, oh, that's probably why you didn't give it to me before, because I probably would have said something, and then it probably would have blew the opportunity. But he said I could say I have something good, but I can't say what it is. Certain things I can't speak on, because so the enemy won't know what to attack. The enemy being someone who's watching this. Um, but I also have another verse for you guys. I'm at Mark 11 and 23. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things in which he said shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Now, that's the part, and shall not doubt, because that goes beyond the mustard seed one. So by the time you get to thou shall not doubt, you have put a lot of trust in God. You have built up your faith level. I haven't got to the faith level of throwing a mountain into the sea yet. I be focused on what my life entails. But that's why it's good to journal every time something comes through, because you can look back and it builds your faith. You can look back at it, and then you also feel the feelings you was feeling when you was writing the things down. You see what I'm saying? And it's just like your real father in real life. And every time he comes through for you, you get more uh, um, excited, more, you brag more about him, you have more faith, you believe that he's going to come through for you. Be like, my dad say he always come when he say. That's your daddy who don't come. That's my dad come. He gonna be here. See? Talking about, hi dad. He be all wait for you to go get some ice cream afterwards. See y'all later. No, you ain't gonna stick your tongue. But that's you having doubt, not me. My dad's been here for me. And that's how it is. You get more, you get more in tune with him, and you just enjoy doing what would make him happy too. There's these two little girls that be on Instagram, and I love seeing them sing with their dad. They be singing with their dad, and he's the pastor, and they be looking at him while they sing it. And I'm thinking to myself, they're gonna remember this feeling for the rest of their lives. You could tell he's been working with them since they was really, really small. They harmonize together, and they be looking at his face, and they be all looking in each other's eyes, and he look back and forth at them, and they sing so beautifully together. And it's just like they have the perfect harmony. They have, you could tell just through that connection that whatever church he has is on fire, is anointed for the Lord, because it starts at home. And you can tell just by that. That's what he's been practicing, what he preached. He's been singing for God, and that's what he uplift God. And he have his seeds, planting seeds this early, because for everybody that anointing touches and it blesses, you're planting a seed yourself. You're pleasing your Father, and they be looking so happy. They be looking at him like they want to look at him so they can see that, show him that they, Dad, I got it. I'm on it. And they be singing so beautifully, and they be just trying so hard to please him. They just be, they don't sing low like, I love you, Lord, today. I love you, Lord, today. And they be singing from their soul, and they be looking at him like, we did it. We did a good job. And they do a good job. And he has said on one of the posts, so happy to, he feels so grateful and blessed to have them not only as his daughters, but as his members. I'm like, that is so beautiful. And that's what I was saying about pleasing our Father. I mean, you know that he's the kind of father who is taking his time, making sure they get good grades, or that they are bringing home good grades because they want to, can't wait to show. Look, Dad, look what I did today. Look, I got an A. Let me see here. All right, yeah, you doing what you're supposed to do. Give me that. All right, all right, that's my girls. They be skipping up to their room like, we please our dad. He's like, what, y'all want to go out to Red Robin, play some video games? Don't have to be no special occasion. He's like, he be doing stuff they don't even think of. My dad be doing that too. He'd be like, you want to buy you some shoes this month? Hmm. They're on sale. Go ahead, get you some more shoes because you need more than that pair of shoes. You're gonna be getting dressed and going different places. You're right, or it is your birthday month. You're right. I can't I can't go against you when you say that. And it's such a special relationship. And it's such a beautiful relationship because not only can you not be God given, but in return, he feels you, he gives you love for yourself. You appreciate yourself more. You understand how to love because you learn how to love by how he see you. You start to see yourself the same way, and it lifts you up. And though you care what you look like on the inside, outside, it becomes more relevant, becomes more detrimental to you what he see. what he looks at. It'd be like if you feel any tension come up in you, like, God, why are they able to do that? They can't, you know how you go to a restaurant, be like, they came in after me. How are they getting served first? God, be like, keep your eyes on me. Everybody have their own path. Like, while you pray and be like, Lord, will you please create in me a new heart again? Because I didn't mean to feel any type of way. It's just that. Then you be crying out to him and he clean your heart up for you. Then you be happy for the people. Be like, I'm getting a well done steak. Yes. Okay, good. Oh, God. Y'all enjoying y'all meal over there? Well, you might not do all that, but still. Be like, at least you won't be throwing it away. And you understand the more that does come through, you'd be like, you be done forgot about some stuff you asked them for. And then it'll come through and be like, oh, you like, now he think you ready. Then you see why the holdup was. You be looking like, I probably would have said something. Or I probably wasn't ready for that because at that time I was giving all my money away. And I was waiting so hard. I had got my Social Security, my back pay. I was waiting so hard. I was praying so hard for that. And I owed some money to a couple of people. To my ex, I owed him money. I owed my mom some money. And so I had owed her like $2,500 because I had got shots in my feet. Told you all about. She had used her card to pay for my shots in my feet to get care credit or something like that. And it didn't work. But anyway, she got it on her credit for me. So I had paid her that back. But then we was looking at furniture and stuff. And I had got her something, but she was looking at this whole big old living room set or whatever. It was so really nice and everything. And I had already gave her some more money or whatever, more than what I was giving her or whatever. And then I had gave her more for something else. And then she was looking at this big set. And I started to get it for her, but the Lord told me to go sit down somewhere. He was like, don't buy it. Don't buy that because you're going to be almost out of money. You've already given her most of your money. And then so now it come like I've been praying for a different blessing to come through. And he's been like, no, 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 no. Well, he not no, but he ain't been coming through with it. He didn't say no. He didn't say not now, but he just haven't said nothing about it. But he said it in the beginning. He told me about it. But then I was like, it's been so long. I'm like, have I heard? Did I hear it right? Because it's been so long. And every time I go to him, he don't say nothing. And then finally, I was just like, I turned my will over to him. And I'm like, your will be done in my life. And then so, anyway, something different happened. And I was like, I forgot all about that. Yeah, I said, you know what? That probably didn't happen when I wanted it to happen because I would have probably given it away. I'd be like, I was praying for blessings to come through for me so that I could bless other people. I'd be sending my cousins money for their birthday, and then one of the cousins didn't even recognize me on my birthday after I sent him some money for his birthday. And not like trying to buy people, but just showing them how I felt about them when I had an opportunity to. Trying to show them like my ex, he always was talking about how I was using him and stuff, which I worked for everything he gave me and more because I was doing construction work, cleaning up houses with him and I help him clean out the whole house, and he wouldn't pay me nothing. And then the money that I owed him, he still said I owed him that amount. So even when I got my money, I just gave him everything I owed him, even though I was helping him clean the houses. And so that he could stop saying that I had used him and stop telling people that, making me sound like I was a manipulator when I wasn't, when I had did everything. I had cleaned out the whole house, and then he kicked me out. I cleaned out the whole house. He was in a whole nother house. And then me and him wasn't even together. I was working with his brother and watching his sister as a caregiver. He kicked me out and put her in a nursing home after I cleaned up that whole house. It was roaches in there, rats in there, big old jugs of urine where she had, had Alzheimer's staying by herself, and the fridge had maggots and stuff. I had hired my son and his and my cousins, my oldest son, and paid them $75 each to clean out the backyard and dispose of the. I mean, it was in terrible condition. He was paying like $1,100 a month somewhere, living downtown in a good area downtown. And when he came and saw the house, he was so tripped out. And then he acted like he wanted to get back together because we wasn't together no more. And then I gave him another chance, and then he moved in with me. And then like 2 weeks later, he kicked me out, and he had all the paperwork saying he stayed there. And so anyway, because I would have best of intentions, and then people wouldn't have the best of intentions. And I didn't see that clearly until I had my spiritual awakening. But even after I had my spiritual awakening, I still focused on the things that they had did great for me. Like my mom, she had took in my oldest son. So I'm forever grateful for that. And that's not all she did for me. She did a lot of things for me. She helped me out a lot. But I helped her out a lot too. A whole lot too. And but in all, now I know why. And then by the time your blessing come through for you, you'll be able to say, I know why it didn't come through. I probably had to be pushed into the situation to trust him, or I probably had to see certain things for myself first. Because somebody can tell you things, you can watch it online all day, and you could be like, oh, that's a narcissist. That's a this, that. But until you get out of that situation and do some work on yourself and get all like the toxic traits out of you, the codependency out of you, and you're looking at yourself through different eyes, through a cleaned up person, through a different perspective. And then, so I still have a long way to go. God's not finished with me yet, but I have a new perspective, different perspective. And I can look at it from different eyes. And looking at it from different eyes, I could see where I had a lot to play in, the toxicity that I made myself available to a lot. And as I was codependent on them, they was codependent on me too. So it was toxic both ways. So I worked on my toxic, the people pleasing and the codependency, and learning that being a humble, God fearing woman, that don't mean I have to be extra friendly. That don't mean that I have to accept different things and respect people who's not respecting me. And it can also, I can even have righteous anger, and I can even, speak my mind when it's time, and I have to apologize because I'm also uh, to be well respected. I'm a queen, and I've worked on myself. I can call myself a queen. I don't call everybody a queen. I don't. I don't call nobody a king. Because I don't have nobody in my life. But I know of kings. Um, well, I tell my son his father's a king. But in any case, that is my spiel today about faith, and I've done my time. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you, all my new loved ones. If you go through my content, you'll see I have a lot of good content, a lot of good shorts, very entertaining page, and I would appreciate all subscriptions to this channel, hypes to this video, and comments, please. It will really help. Thank you for joining me. Peace.